Alright, in section 7.1, we're talking about angles. Now, before we talk about angles, we need to know the components that we need to make up an angle, which would be a ray. So a ray is one point on a line, and all the other points extending in one direction from that point. So here's our point right here, and then we're extending in this direction. Now the notation could be ray EF, or it could be EF with an arrow above it. Now the first point, that is called the endpoint. So this E right here, that is your endpoint. Now an angle, you take two of those rays and you put them together with a common endpoint. That endpoint is called the vertex of the angle. And once you do that, that's when you form an angle. Okay, so here's our vertex, or the common point between our two rays right here. And that little distance between them, that is your angle. Okay, now you can use the points on the ray and the vertex, and that will give you your name of the angle. So in this case, we've got D, E, and F, so we can name this angle DEF. And this right here is the symbol used to state that we're talking about an angle. Sometimes you'll see it like this as well. That's another symbol you'll see when referring to an angle. Now here are certain letters used to describe angles, and these are Greek letters. So we've got theta, phi, alpha, beta, and gamma. And notice the notation, you've got that symbol right in front of each of these Greek letters to symbolize that we're talking about an angle. And what you'll see is you'll put that Greek letter right here between your two rays, and that will signify this is angle theta. Okay, now a measure of an angle. So when creating an angle, we leave one ray in a fixed place and the other one will rotate. So what we call that fixed ray, the one that stays in place, that's the initial side. Now the one that rotates, that is called the terminal side, because it will start on top of the initial side and then it will rotate to a spot where it stays, or where it terminates the rotation. Okay, so it looks like this right here. You've got your initial side, so this ray right here stood in place, and then there was one on top of it and it moved to this spot right here. This ray stopped right here, and it is the terminal side. Now the amount of rotation from the initial side to the terminal side, that is called the measure of the angle. Okay, so this little spot right here, however far that terminal side rotated, this is called the measure of the angle right here. Okay, degree, that is probably the most familiar unit for angle measurement. It's got this notation right here, just a little circle above your number. And 1 degree is 1/360th of a circular rotation. Remember, a circle has 360 degrees in it. Okay, now an angle in standard position, this is very important. So the vertex is at the origin of the xy coordinate plane, and the initial side is along the positive x-axis. So here's your vertex right here at the origin, and your initial side is always at the positive x-axis. Remember, this side over here, this is positive x. This side over here, this is negative x. This side over here is positive y. And this down here is negative y. Okay? If you are going counterclockwise, so you start here and go this direction, then you will always have a positive angle. But if you go clockwise, start here and go this direction with your angle, you will have a negative angle. Remember, you always start on the initial side. Okay? Now, quadrantal angles, these are angles that are either going to land on the terminal side, it's going to land on either the x or the y axis, and it can be the positive or the negative x or y axis. So for the positive x, you've got 0. For positive y, you've got 90. For negative x, you've got 180. For negative y, you've got 270. And if you went all the way around, you'd be back at this spot right here, which is 0, or you could say 360. So if you hadn't gone anywhere, it's 0. If you've gone all the way around, then it's 360. So each one of these would be a quadrantal angle. Okay, now we're going to sketch an angle of 60 degrees in standard position. So I'm going to have my initial side here on the positive x. And if I went from here to here, that would be 90. Halfway of that would be 30, so a little over half. This would be 60 degrees right here. Okay, sketch negative 135 degrees in standard position. So again, I'm going to start with positive x, but now that it's negative, I'm going to go clockwise, so I'm going to go this direction. So if I went here, that'd be negative 90. If I went all the way over here, that'd be negative 180. So it's somewhere in this quadrant right here. So it should be about right there. This would be negative 135 degrees. Okay, now radians. So this is the measure of a central angle of a circle that intercepts an arc equal in length to the radius of that circle. Okay, so you've got your central angle right here. We're calling it theta. And then here's your radius from this spot right here all the way to the edge of the circle. That's your radius. This little spot right here, this little spot right here, that is the intercepted arc. It's like we had a side right here, or a fixed ray, and it moved over to this spot right here. And every time it moved, it dropped like a little ink spot right here. So it intercepted or touched that little spot right there, and we call that the intercepted arc, or we call it the arc length. Okay, so make note that 2 pi is the same thing as 360 radians. Pi is the same thing as 180 degrees radian. And this is just FYI, 1 radian is about 57.3 degrees. By the way, this is the weird thing about radians. It actually doesn't have any type of dimension. Because what you do is you divide the length or the circumference of the circle by the length of the radius, which is another length. So your units will actually cancel out. So there's actually no dimensions, or you don't have anything like feet, inches, centimeters, anything like that. It's just a number. Okay, relating arc lengths to radius. So that arc length, this little spot right here, we say it's the arc length, or we just give it the letter S. Okay, so arc length S is the length of the curve along the arc. Okay, so the arc length produced by any given angle has a constant relation to the radius, regardless of the length of the radius. So S is always going to be equal to the radius times your central angle, whatever it is. Or you could solve for theta, which is dividing r by both sides to give the central angle is equal to the arc length divided by the radius. Now, if the arc length and the radius are the same thing, well then theta is going to be an r over r, which is really just 1 radian. Okay, now this is for you, is to kind of go between degrees and radians. 0 degrees is the same thing as 0 radians. Now if I started here and went all the way around the circle, that'd be 360 degrees or 2 pi radians. 30 degrees is the same thing as pi over 6. 45 is the same thing as pi over 4. You're just going from degrees to radians or radians to degrees. It's telling you the same location of your angle. It's just using a different way to show it. Now, if we wanted to go between degrees and radians, well, we got two options here. If we are converting from degrees to radians, then we need to use pi over 180. Now, if we're going from radians to degrees, you need to use 180 over pi. So we're going to convert pi over 6 radians to degrees. So I'm going to take pi over 6, and what I need to do is cancel out that pi. So if I have a pi on top, I need a pi on bottom to cancel it out. Pi is the same thing as 180. So that will cancel out. So I have 180 degrees divided by 6. Well, 18 divided by 6, that was 3. And then I'm just going to keep that 0, tag it along. So pi over 6 is the same thing as 30, like we see right here. Pi over 6 is the same thing as 30 degrees. And by the way, this right here, using pi over 180 or 180 over pi, we said that pi was equal to 180, so essentially the same thing. So like saying 4 is equal to 4. Now if I put 4 over 4, then that's a form of 1. That's the same thing with these. These are a form of 1. That's why we're able to multiply this to any of our radians or degrees without changing it, because this entire thing right here is a form of 1. Okay, now convert 15 to radians. So I've got 15, and I'm going to put this over 1. Now I have degrees in the top, I need degrees in the bottom, so 180 degrees, and then pi. Okay, so that's going to cancel out the degrees, and I'll get 15 pi over 180. Now if I take a 15 out of both of these, this will be pi over 12, and that will be my final answer. Now convert 3 to degrees. Now since it's saying convert to degrees, we can go ahead and assume that this is in radians. Now if you don't see any units or a pi, then you're going to be dealing with radians like it says right here. Because remember, when you're dealing with radians, it really doesn't have a unit. So we're going to take 3 radians, and I'm going to put rads, over 1. Okay, if I have radians at the top, I need radians in the bottom. So pi radians over 180. So my radians will cancel, and I'll get 180 times 3 over pi. Now I need to change this to a decimal, and then I'm going to not put the decimal, but I'm going to give get close to the number. So it's roughly around 172, and that's why I put these squiggly lines right there. That means that it's an approximation. It's not exactly this number right here. I'm just not writing the decimals. But 3 radians is close to the same thing as 172 degrees. Okay, now coterminal angles, they have the same terminal sides. So 2 different angles, then they got to be in standard position that have the same terminal side. Now any angle has a bunch of coterminal angles. All you have to do is keep adding 360 to it, or keep subtracting 360 from it, like it says right here. Okay, now reference angles. So the smallest angle formed by the terminal side of the angle T and the horizontal axis. A lot of students get that confused. They usually try to use the vertical axis, but it's the horizontal axis. Okay, so your terminal side and the horizontal axis. Now for quadrant 1, whatever angle they give you, that is also your reference angle. For second quadrant, okay, here's your terminal side, and I also need the horizontal axis, which would be this right here. Now to get this answer,